This is what I ate for peak week as a natural bodybuilder 1 week out from my first bodybuilding show of the season.
You spilled.
When it comes to the week before a bodybuilding competition, your body is usually in a state of depletion as you've been trying to lose as much body fat as possible. So although you look the leanest, majority of the time you'll look the smallest. So the goal of the peak week is to fill out your muscles as much as possible, which usually is with carbs, so that you can look as big as you can while maintaining as much definition as you can. However, peak week can be extremely difficult as there are a lot of approaches to it, and if you have too much carbs, then you can also run the risk of not looking as lean. Welcome to peak week. It has been a while since I have vlogged like this. This feels really freaking weird. I haven't spoken to a camera like this in ages.
Hey guys, we're here at Woolworths, so that lady just looked at me. Let's go.
This is why I do voiceovers. But anyways, it is Wednesday. So we are 5 days out from the bodybuilding competition on Sunday, and peak week starts today. So last night, I had a call with Wes, my coach, my best friend, my boyfriend, and basically we ran through some rough protocols. Say hi to the camera.
So the way that I wanted to go about it is I wanted to go with a higher increment in carbs first. Use Thursday, Friday to taper up or down based on response, because Saturday is going to be pretty much all about testing meal by meal to see how you look.
In terms of carbs, I was thinking like white rice and furikake. So as we're scaling carbs up, just increase rice. If we need extra sodium, easy, just add extra furikake.
What'd you say?
Furikake, you know the seaweed seasoning on the rice?
Oh,
like
okay.
salted
I thought you
seasoning.
said bukake.
Yeah. So our approach for peak week was this: try to keep my sodium and potassium levels at a 1-to-1 ratio, increase carbs on a daily basis, and see how much carbs I can eat before spilling over, and then from one day out, we'll assess the physique meal by meal. I do want to get rid of some of my ingredients, but moving forward, I think today I'm going to be writing another meal plan and looking for more quick digesting carbs. We don't want to change too much, so if anything, we might just lower the portions of the current meals. But yeah, I guess before I do go to my new meal plan, I'm gonna make the most of my day today and make the most of my carbs. Now I just gotta figure out what I wanna have for breakfast. During this prep, I've basically been going through a cottage cheese phase, and this is one of the combinations I've been coming back to every single time. So I've mentioned it so many times in my shorts, and look, it may seem really weird, but I swear on my life, it tastes so good. It's Crust Kits, Naked Heroes powdered peanut butter, ham, light cottage cheese, and apples. I still had spare carbs, so I had this fat-free creamed rice I found at the supermarket, and all I did was add some bananas and topped it off with honey. This is delicious. For my second meal, I upgraded my 1 kilogram jelly concoction and literally threw in nearly all of my leftover fruits. This thing weighed nearly 2 kilos, but damn, it was actually pretty good. The third meal was the pumpkin, spinach, feta, and chicken salad, but with a whopping 700 grams of pumpkin. Oh yeah, and this sweet potato snack I got from Costco. And the final meal of the night was my endless salad bowl. This is a very stripped back version of it, so it's not the proper recipe. This modified version was definitely by far the most filling one I've made, as I tried to fill out the carbs, and holy, I felt like my stomach was going to explode.
I'm so freaking full.
I definitely needed to adjust my meal plan for the next day. Yeah, you're ready to get into the bed?
Where else?
Oh, coach! It's been so long. Oh my god, thank you so much. You look so skinny. Oh, you look so fat. Give me a kiss.
So what's happening? What is the protocols for this morning?
We went up by 100 carbs yesterday, and Lee didn't spill over, which was really good. And so yesterday, Wednesday, was when we went 100 carbs above his caloric maintenance, and that was essentially just to see how he would respond. Is he going to hold on to any water? Is there going to be fluid retention present? no, there wasn't. He's looking very full. We're gonna hold him at 100 carbs again to see what the response is.
Dude, I shat so much this morning. I feel like I shat out all the vegetables. I was so bloated on 3,000 calories. So we definitely have to change the meal plan. So the plan for Thursday was to keep the calories and increase in carbs the same as the previous day, as we were still relatively unsure as how aggressively we wanted to load the carbs. But of course, we needed a new meal plan. So Wes and I went on a little shopping date to grab some groceries. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little too excited with the options I had available to fill out my carbs, but it was also kind of hard to balance my sodium and potassium, which kind of backfired sometimes, which you'll see later. But we generally stuck with similar foods as to what I was eating before, with slight adjustments to the ingredients. For my first meal, we went with crumpets, cottage cheese, banana, and honey, which was so good and satisfying, especially compared to what I was having previously. And I also had a side of YoPro to fill out the rest of my protein. For my second meal, I got rid of the jelly and yogurt to reduce the volume, and instead used Muscle Nation's protein custard, as it was higher in protein and lower in volume. And also, I have Code Lee if you wanted to get it too. I kept the fruits and added the addition of Fruity Bite cereals for easy carbs. And honestly, I wasn't really too sure what I was making here, but I'm not gonna lie, as good as it tasted, it was pretty damn dry. And this is where a lot of my meal choices backfired throughout peak week. I got too excited because I really wanted to try Frosties since I've never had it before, and then I spiraled into a Frosties addiction. So Kellogg's, please take responsibility and sponsor me so I can have a lifetime supply of Frosties.
It's not slow motion.
Because I tried to use all my carbs to fit in Frosties where I could, I ended up with the most blandest and boring salads for both meals 3 and 4, just to try and get my sodium and potassium levels back to a 1-to-1 ratio, but it was so worth it. Alrighty, so it is... what day is it today? Friday? We didn't spill over. So now the protocols for today, what are the protocols? We are sticking to the same thing?
Yes, we are sticking to the same protocols.
You actually have your undies down? No. Let's get out of this shower. As this was our first time competing in a show with prejudging, we honestly didn't know what to do, as we would have to hop on stage twice, so we decided to test some protocols. We came up with 3 different scenarios. Prejudging started at 12 PM, so the first scenario was to fast until then and see if I could get a pump without any food. If I could, then this is what we would run, and then we would just eat the pre-workout meal to fill out for the finals. So what, this is first scenario, trying to get a pump without any food, fasted in the morning, for prejudging. What do we do? Am I trying to get a pump?
Pump.
Okay. You gotta pump it up. Gotta pump it up. Cue the montage music, baby. 1, 2, 3.
Your bum's so flat now, bro.
How do people do the push-ups with this thing? Is that it? That's definitely not it. The second scenario was to have a pre-pump meal to see how my physique would look. If I looked fuller and more pumped, then this is the meal that we would run during the competition. This is 30 minutes before hopping on stage, kind of like a pre-workout meal. I'll be having 55 grams of Frosties by itself 30 minutes before, and then shotting down pump formula with 1 gram of salt and 250 mils of water. We're gonna see in 30 minutes time after I have this, if I can get a pump and see how I'm looking like.
See you in 30 minutes.
And then the final scenario is to replicate the finals, which was a lot later in the afternoon. We wanted to see what my physique looked like 2 to 3 hours after eating a small meal after prejudging. Scenario 3, we've had a pre-workout meal, which is prejudging, and then an hour after that, we've had a small meal, and then 2 hours now, this is basically the finals, and then so now this is basically, you know, we're testing the finals to see where vascularity and everything is looking. And if this works, then we're probably gonna run with this protocols on Sunday. So let's see how it is.
If anything, pumping up now feels a lot easier because I've had that small meal and I feel like I have more energy now. You know what I'm saying? More energy. 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 Energy.
From this, our discoveries were, I have the most definition fasted in the morning, but I can't get a pump if I don't eat any food.
Can you feel it?
Kinda.
Really?
I think so.
Flat.
Having Frosties and Muscle Nation's 3D pump formula shortly before pumping up helped a lot, and that's the pre-workout meal we were going with.
Oh, the difference, bros. The difference. Look at that.
And after one meal, my physique starts to soften 2 to 3 hours later and then lose a little bit of that definition.
I wonder if your viewers will be able to tell the difference.
Because I can't.
Lost a bit of...
Is it?
Lost a bit of tightness.
For the rest of the day though, I just went back to eating as normal to fill out the rest of my calories.
I have no idea what I made, but it's custard, dried apricot, strawberry, and light whipped cream. And I'm freaking hungry, so I ain't gonna complain.
That night, I also had a press conference for the competition, as I was one of the people who were invited to compete. We were kind of late, so we ended up rushing dinner. For some reason, my stupid ass wanted to fit in protein cookies and Frosties, so to try and keep my potassium and sodium balanced, I ended up having plain spinach and chicken breast and jelly because I was starving. But just as we were about to leave, I forgot I still had tomatoes left that I was meant to eat with my salad. So I had to eat plain roasted tomatoes with no salt. And honestly, I only just started liking tomatoes, which now I think I hate them again.
It would be really nicer with like salt and pepper, but like...
I can't even flavor them.
It's so shit.
Welcome to day... One day out. We are currently 1 day out. So, probably the best we've looked so far, to be honest. What are the protocols for today?
Protocols. So we're essentially front loading our carbs to the first half of the day, and then we're essentially just going to run remaining protein and fats for the rest of the day so that we can essentially commence the drying out process leading into the fasted state tomorrow.
So with 1 day out, we were honestly pretty nervous. Throughout the day, my conditioning did hold out quite nicely, so we were able to fit 4 meals in of 100 carbs each. All of these meals were pretty similar to the previous days as we didn't really want to change too much. So I just had the protein yogurt with fruits and cereal for the first meal, crumpets for the second meal, the bottomless salad bowl and cereal for the third meal, and of course Frosties for the final carb meal, with chicken breast on the side to fill out my protein. That day we also got our first coat of tan. If you haven't seen that tanning process yet, then you can find it in one of my shorts. With one sleep left until show day, we ended the night with a fat and protein only meal. I'll be honest, since I've been keeping everything low fat for so long, I couldn't really think of anything to fill my fats out with, so I kind of just threw a bunch of random things together, and as you can see, it was a pretty sad meal. I can't remember why I had coffee so late in the evening, but the rest was just salmon, 2 eggs, cream cheese, and sesame oil. Look, I don't really know. But yeah, there it is. After over 50 weeks of planning and dieting, we were finally 1 day out from the long-awaited bodybuilding competition. 1 day out. How being exciting.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
So excited because we put so much work into this.
literally.
There's been a lot of collaboration as well between Lee and I, which has been really nice.
Yeah, it's nice that we were able to live together and sleep together and do all these things. See you at show day.